What's up, y'all? Hey, everybody out there, wear your mask, please. It's not that hard, right? It's really not. Apparently, 35,664,000 new cases of COVID in the U.S. yesterday, since yesterday, per the CDC. Wear your masks, huh? Anyway, all right, I'll get off my platform, I guess. These were made by a friend of ours for Jess and I, and they've come in really handy. So it's really not that hard. Anyway, how y'all doing today? Hopefully everyone's doing well. So, yeah. Hi. I wanted to take a break from prepping Perseverance that you guys there see behind me. And so I thought, you know what? There was a lot of discussion in Slack about the manual shuffler that Jess got me for my birthday or Father's Day. I think my birthday. And so I thought I'd show it off and hang out with y'all for a little bit. Oh, that's good. That's really good. This is orange spice tea, so it's basically like orange pico. So, oops. How y'all doing today? Seriously. Capstone pre-order day makes me happy. All right. The other tea I'm drinking today is a Benefuki. This is some strong stuff, man. Woo! Wow, that's strong. All right. So anyway, let's see. Hector says, hey, Edward. Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I am. Thanks. I've asked before, but could you please plan a stream of Tokyo Metro with the aid of the new camera, meaning the PTZ camera? Thank you. We'll see. I'm not going to promise that one because it wasn't just the top down, but the problem is with that white background and all the pieces, they just didn't show up on camera at all. It's the only time in history that has ever happened that I've had to cancel a stream because of something like that. So we will see. No promise. But yeah, we will see. Yep, Curious Cargo. You guys are going to see that on the show here before it's released, hopefully during the pre-order. But I don't know if Clay will be able to get me a prototype in time. Speaking of streams, so you guys know that I have, I'll get it right yet, never. Perseverance on Thursday and Friday this week. We have Rap Gods on Sunday. Then on next Tuesday, we're going to be streaming a 4-player, I think it's 4-player, on Tabletop Simulator of PAX Viking. That is not the official one, but we're just going to do it because I know we have a stream coming in the next handful of weeks on Tabletop Simulator for The Cost, the upcoming game from the three fellas over on the board game group. About the asbestos farming from Spielworks. That's coming. Let's see what else. PAX Viking. Let me look at the schedule. Let's see. What else? There we go. Oh, right. Trans-Siberian Railroad is coming soon. I got another one of 1862 I'm going to be doing. Yeah, that's the official stuff that is on the schedule for as of right now. So there we go. BIOS Genesis is scheduled to take place after PAX Vikings Tabletop Simulator. Very well could be in July. It might be August, but it's going to be in one of those 2 months, Rich. One of those two. So, yeah. So I got, here. Some of the minis for Perseverance over here. Perseverance is everywhere except right there, which is where the shuffler is. So yeah, anyway, Brianna, also, side note, I love surprise streams. Thank goodness for that bell notification button. Well done. Checks in the mail, Brianna. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, would I prefer more of y'all to watch these? Sure, of course. But if folks haven't hit the bell notification, then, I mean, how many times do I gotta? You can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? All right. How's Coop? Cooper is doing really well. He is settled in well. He only spends half his time here when Jess is here. The other half is at the other house with the kids and stuff. He apparently, this is all hearsay from Jess, but there for a while, because 4 kids, he was getting tired of putting all the kids to bed. But he's gotten used to it. He understands his role now. And also, one nice thing is the little one, the youngest, he has learned that whenever somebody over there, like if Jess is busy working or whatever and can't give him the attention he deserves, he knows he can always go to the little one and she will happily give him all the attention he could want. So that's awesome. So that's good. Yeah, so here, while we load up some questions here, I'm going to show you guys the shuffler, all right, the shuffle machine, because like I said, I mean, it's just a manual shuffler, but a lot of people have been asking about this in Slack. So I figure, you know what? I figure I'd show you guys this. So I got 3 different types of games here, okay? We have Terraforming Mars. So these are fine card stock, I guess, right? They're just whatever. I realize it's a little dark. I didn't adjust the camera and all that stuff for this, but again, impromptu stream. Then I have Colonial Twilight, which these are definitely thicker cards than the Terraforming Mars. So there's 2 different types. Neither are Linen Finish. I just realized I should have grabbed a Linen Finish game. Anyway, and the mini cards here from 1862. Figure I'd pick games that I wouldn't mind getting shuffled like this. All right. Yeah, so, and people are asking if this damages the corners. The answer is no, but I figure proof's in the pudding, so I would show you guys this live. So I'll start with the Terraforming, or I'll start with the Colonial Twilight ones, okay? So I will set these aside, and I'll set these aside for right now. Now, this, Jess linked to it, and I will, if you're in Slack, there's a link to it in there. And you know what? Give me just a second before I get started, and I will bring up, I'll go ahead and post a link to this. I get nothing for it. Like, this isn't like sponsored by them or anything crazy. So I'll just get the link here from where Jess got it on Amazon. Oops. Go away. There we go. So there, and I will post this. Apparently it does not shuffle sleeve cards well. I can't speak to that because the majority of my games are not sleeve because honestly, just doesn't make sense. So it's a manual shuffler. This is the one that Mark Herman actually recommended when we went over to his summer house when we played Churchill with him. So what I figure I would do is the propaganda cards here in a game of Colonial Twilight need to be, they're pre-seeded within a certain amount or whatever, but I figure because these are so different than the regular cards, because they say propaganda on them like that, I figure you'd be able to see how they shuffle into this, right? Okay, so basically what this does is a riffle shuffle, and I'm just gonna throw these in, intersperse them in here, there, and then there. All right, so they're in here somewhere. There you go, right? All right, already. Or better yet, no, wait, I should have put them all on the top. That's what I should have done. All right, hold on one second. But it gives you an idea on how well this thing shuffles or doesn't, depending on your point of view. Now, this will take multiple shuffles because whenever you do a regular riffle shuffle, in theory, they say you're supposed to do 7 riffle shuffles for a perfectly shuffled deck. All right? Yes, no sleeves because honestly, so that's about half. I'm eyeballing it, okay? So there, and all of the propaganda cards are now going to be on top. And you know what? I will do it this way so they're facings all right? So you guys will be able to see all that as well. Again, I get nothing for this. I don't care if you guys get the shuffler or not, but I know a lot of people have asked. So here you go. So there you go, right? All right. And then it has this little hoo-yah, this little card holder that goes into the middle that holds them, all right? So we're gonna do this 7 times. So this is about half. It's not perfect, even, okay? Oop, other way. Got to make sure it's all the way at the bottom there. There you go. So you saw how it kind of caught like that? It will do that on occasion. Doesn't hurt the cards at all. So that is 2. It's about half. Again, no one's ever going to get this perfect. There you go. There's 3. Get in there. There we go. There's 4. See how it keeps catching like that? No damage to the cards. I'll show you guys when I'm all done. That's 5. I think that's 5. 2 more. It doesn't matter one way or whether it's not. So there's 6. Think of it as like a PSA, right? Public service announcement here for these, for shufflers. Come on, well, for love of all that's good and holy, get in there. There we go. So this should be 7, I think, right? Is this 7? That was nowhere near even. We'll go one more because I don't know if that was 6 or 7. Because apparently counting to 7 is way too hard for me to remember. There. There we go. All right. So we now have shuffled that somewhere between 6 and 8 times. Let's put it that way. All right. So now let's see where. All of those were on top. So I'm curious where they got shuffled in. There's one of them, okay? There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. And there's 5. It seems pretty random. That seems decent. All right. So there you go. Yeah, I know. I'm going to call it old age. But anyway, so there you go. And here, to show you the cards, they're in perfect condition. I mean, they're perfect. So even with it catching like that, or nothing's wrong with those. So now, I'm not going to do this as many times, but I figure what I would do is I would do the terraforming Mars cards. So they all, well, okay, they're not all perfectly, are they? No, they're not all perfectly. I thought I had them all facing the same way, but they're pretty close to where the majority of them are all facing the same. There we go. For the most part. All right. So they're all about facing the same way. So, and obviously this is not the whole deck because this machine can only handle so many at a time. I say they're mostly facing the same way as I say that. There we go. So I will put half that way and half this way so you guys will be able to see, okay? That's pretty close to half. Cool. I'm just going to do this, say, 3 times on this one. Oops. There we go. All right, so there you go. There's 3. And by the way, all this does is it has these little rubber pieces here that grab the card and slide it in. So that's all it's doing. So like I said, they were roughly facing the same way. And this is only, why is that in there? This is only, half the shuffles that I would recommend people doing. So you can see that they're, fairly decently mixed for it being a halfway shuffle there, okay? So somebody's asking about card sizes. Well, that's why I thought I would go to the extreme on this, okay? I guess I could have flipped some face up, huh? Okay. Oh, God. Am I really going to do that for you guys? Better yet, how about I do this? Because this one I don't mind. This one's easier. So here, how about better yet, that would have been smarter. How about we do this? This is love. This is what I do for you people, okay? So, there you go. Eesh, all right. That was ugly. Let's try that again. Move those out of the way. There you go. All right. All right, so there you go. There's 3 shuffles, all right? I'd say I did a pretty good job for that only being 3 shuffles, okay? All right. The last one that I will do is the little, by the way, since people are asking, I will show, it could handle a slightly bigger card than whatever the Terraforming Mars cards are, but I would not go a whole lot bigger than these. It's got maybe 2 millimeters on it, on the end there, okay? So there's that. But here you go. So this one I did as an experiment on my own because I was like, I wonder if this is gonna work because these don't fit exactly, right? Because there's so much space on this. And it's not perfect, but it works. So check it. Okay, so now, there you go. I was gonna say it's getting really full, so I will have to pull those out there because this only goes so high, right? And then it starts hitting up against it and jamming it up a little. And even if anything messes up, like I said, this isn't going to be perfect for this size of card. There we go. There we go. But it still does a better job and quicker than I would be able to do if I were doing this manually. So, and I will do this one more time. And the only problem, really, honestly, with this one is you see how, like, there might be the occasional sideways one, which right there, that one, is messing me up. And that one right there. You see the idea? So, but otherwise, shuffles them up really good. So, but yeah, so like I said, the only reason I'm doing this is a bunch of y'all asked in Slack. And so I was like, you know what? Instead of trying to explain it, I might just show you all this stuff. So, and if it does kind of get jammed up, you can kind of back it up a little like that, reset it, and continue going. So, take those out, straighten that up a little, and there you go. They're now a lot more shuffled than they were. So, there you go. Things I do for y'all. That was either terrible and stupid or maybe helpful to somebody out there. I don't know. So, there we go. Okay. All right. Let me, so I don't mess up my cards here since I'm going to be streaming 62 again next week. But, oh, there's one more thing I forgot to show you guys, is the handle here actually pops out and it stores right underneath. So now it's flush. So you don't have that handle sticking out if you want. So there you go. That's what I do. It's what I use. Jess got it for me. So, yeah, thanks, Jess. And that was the one, like I said, that Mark Herman recommended. And he said he doesn't recommend the automatic shufflers because they have a tendency to damage cards. And I will say this, that being from the poker world, I can attest to the automatic shufflers, even the ones that are upwards of $50,000. They will occasionally damage a card. It'll get caught in whatever. At least this, if it gets caught, you can just back it up a little bit and continue on moving. So there you go. There we go. Man, that stuff is strong. Woo! Not my favorite tea. Benefici, I think it's called. So, woo. Wow. Yeah, I think we're about done with that one. I think we'll move over to the orange. Oh, that's rough. All right. Shrey says, Google shuffle number file to watch that video on shuffling 7 times. I might have to do that in there now. All right. I'm just catching up on questions here. Let's see. Okay, maybe 7 was the wrong number. Any upcoming Kickstarters or releases you're curious or excited about? Well, this one, but that's a sponsored stream, so I feel weird saying that. I have it set up. You guys want to get a sneak peek of the board? I don't know if they've shown any of this stuff or not. Has Mindclass shown any of that? I'll scroll down or I'll see if any of you guys want to see the board or any of the stuff, like as a little sneak peek ahead of Thursday and Friday stream. Well, Thursday stream. Episode 2 is in this one. Episode 1 is in that. So there's that. Apparently 1822 completed its Kickstarter today, so that was cool. I saw that he used our video on there. Didn't mention that it won the Golden Elephant Award. That was kind of a bummer, but yeah, it's all right. Any other Kickstarters I'm looking forward to? I'm sure there are others that I'm going to be remiss for not mentioning, but I'm on Kickstarters as far as timing of those, especially nowadays. The cost, I've been following that, and I have a prototype in the library of it from way back. So I'm looking forward to that and hoping that does well for the guys with Spielworks. But, I mean, let's face it, Spielworks, so it's going to sell its 1,000 copies, right? You know that. Have I played Eklund's Neanderthal or Greenland? Yes, I've played one of them, and I can't remember which, but it's been a while. But both of those are going to have streams for them as well. Those may be solo. I'm not sure. We'll see. Again, because the way the world is working, not having folks over, I don't know. So apparently Brianna really wants to see it. All right, so here, I'll just briefly, quickly move that up. That's going to be in the way, isn't it? It is. That's all right, temporary. Oh, I got to zoom that out. Hold on. All the stuff you guys don't normally see. Forgive me, because the table is not vacuumed. But there you go. There. That's the main board. We got counters. We got player board. We got the Dino Attack combat rewards. What else can I? Ooh, some minis. A 3D printed pyramid. The 3 types of 3D printed dinos. Although I will say, full disclosure, there are a crap ton of standees. And by a crap ton, I mean that's like half of that one type, right? So these will be laying down, though, like that, so you guys can see. All right. Different shits. The player pieces are like standard wooden stuff as well as like standees for right now. I don't know what the Kickstarter is going to be. That is not my area of expertise, but there you go. Okay, so there you go. There's a bit of a sneak peek. And like I said, this is episode 1 board. So there you go. Okay, there you go. And now you know. All right, all for you, Brianna. There you go. Let's see, Chip says, last night seemed to work pretty well. Some sync issues, but workable. You do extra work, but it's better than all solo plays or no streams at all. What do you think of the extra work it causes you? It's extra work. It's fine. It depends on the size of the game, honestly. Like this one, when we stream this on Thursday and Friday, it very well might be me, Jess, and one other person remotely. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. It definitely, like for a Winsome or Iron Rail type game, or even last night because it had such a small footprint. And last night being Tokyo Tsukiji Market, that was fine. But something like this, I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to play or whether or not I'm just going to basically run and basically GM and move all the pieces and do all that stuff. The bigger the game, the harder it is, for sure. And by bigger, I mean not just footprint, but also just mind space, because having to do things for other players on their turn, run what is essentially 14 different cameras, and play competently and keep it going and not AP because I haven't had a chance to think about my own turn because I'm worried about managing other players. It's a lot. There's a reason nobody does what I do like this. It's a lot, but it's worth it. You guys are enjoying it. The turnout was great last night, so as long as you guys keep watching and keep enjoying it and wanting it, then I'll keep doing it. All right? Let's see. Oh, hold on. Lost my spot. Dominant species question. What's my favorite species ability to play in the game? Ooh, Corey. I like the mammals. I mean, yes, in my copy, those are the elephants. But I like being able to win ties. So that's really nice. The spiders, everybody seems to think I like playing the spiders. I'm not that aggressive. So believe it or not, I'm really not. So those are annoying. They are really, really annoying. The fact that they get to kill one every turn. The birds can be good, but I feel like those are kind of The snakes, not having to worry about regression is really nice. I think I would probably say the mammals. Yeah, probably the mammals. It's my favorite. Yep, there you go. Scott asks, how often do you have the urge to run back a game immediately after playing it, and how often do you end up doing it in the same sitting? I'll answer the second question first. How often do I end up doing it? Almost never. And how often do I get the urge to do it? If it's a stream, very, very rarely, because I am exhausted after a stream. Like last night, I was just spent. And like after 62, oh my God, like I was comatose. I was just like barely not drooling on myself after that stream, even though that was solo. That's hard. But if it were just like if we're just playing a game for game day, which I mean never happens anymore, it seems, outside of preparing for a stream, on occasion I get the urge to do that, definitely. But one of the things that I think is an advantage when you have this profession that I do is I enjoy exploring more games. I don't really terribly tire of playing new games. So I tend to burn out quicker on the same game over and over if I play it too much too often, or play it too often in too short a time period. And so I know there are people out there that want to play the same game 100 times, or maybe that's an exaggeration, play it 10 times before they move on to the next game. I couldn't do that. I could do that like a handful, like 5, before moving on to a new game. But so I don't mind doing that. So it doesn't really, I'm not super jonesing to run a game back. There are exceptions. BIOS Origins is one. PAX Premier 2nd Edition is one. That Colonial Twilight, I was exhausted after that stream. That 7-hour behemoth. But I was excited to play that again. So it all depends on how much the game kind of tickles my fancy. And so how often? Not terribly often, but on occasion. Philip says, feels like these days Kickstarters can end up more expensive than waiting for retail when I factor in shipping to the UK, so it's hard for me to get excited by them. It's hit or miss on that. Some end up being cheaper than retail. A lot of times they tend to be more expensive, but a lot of times you're going to get whatever benefits or perks they have, whether they're Kickstarter exclusive or for folks where getting your name in a rule book or something like that matters to folks. And plus, you know, being the first kid on the block to have it. But to me, Kickstarter is best when it's used by those small companies that, hey, we need to make sure that we can survive. And so we're going to run a Kickstarter to see what kind of demand there is for our unique game. I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. How am I feeling about making the move to Tabletop Simulator for the 2 streams? Thinking about peppering those in for other plays. I enjoyed my play of PAX Viking when we did that a couple weeks ago on Tabletop Simulator. But it's hard for me to get excited about it. I'm playing a video game. For me, I play video games solo, like The Witcher 3. I'm enjoying playing that. I don't like MMOs or, what do you call them nowadays? The esport games that are super popular. It's not really my thing. That's why I think I go towards PlayStation instead of Xbox. So they're fine. I just don't really enjoy it as much. Plus, it's new and I'm nervous about making sure that the screen shows up right and all that. And these are familiar. Plus, I like having the tangible things, the pieces, you know, in my hand and stuff. So this is what I prefer. Will I do it? Yes. Am I super excited about it? No. Am I excited about the cost and PAX Viking? Yes, because those are a couple of games I'm looking forward to play. But if I had my druthers, I would set them up here and then do what we did last night, which is just remote in people and then I move pieces. So, yeah. Will I do more of them? Maybe. We'll see. I'm not doing it kicking and screaming. I'm just not terribly excited about it. So, I hope that answers your question, Rocky. Did I get the wooden trains for Age of Steam? I don't have Age of Steam. As far as like the new version, I have to borrow Martin's copy whenever I do that. I don't have it. So the answer is no. It says, I heard they're smaller than the discs. Okay. Wooden discs for Age of Steam. The end. My opinion, but I'm right on that. Craig asks, am I considering a Gaia project solo playthrough? I could in a few weeks. Yeah, if there's demand for it, I could do that. Yeah. Hi, Eric. Nick says, surely there must be a current Kickstarter expansion that ends on the 5th of July that comes in a small brown envelope. Sorry, Nick. Jess went whole hog straightening up the studio last night, and she moved it. It was sitting right there. Yes, the Sagas of Nog and the Nog expansion. If you guys haven't seen it, check that out. Nick Case. Shameless plug. You're welcome, Nick. Check that out. In fact, Sagas of Nog and the Nog solo. That could happen. That could be a stream that I could do. That might be one. Huh. Provided Nick doesn't mind. Where? Normally I wouldn't do this, but give me a second. Yep, basketball shorts on. What? You mean this envelope, Nick? Ahem. A moment. Good luck in your currently frightening country. You have no idea. But yes. Huh. Talk, talk, duck and such. So how about we give one of these away, one of these sets away today? How about that, Nick? All right. So, yeah. After the stream's done, leave a comment down below. Tell me, I don't know. Tell me your 3 games that you most want to see me stream solo or be able to do so remotely with folks. Do that and I'll pick one in the next, I don't know, 48 hours. And I'll pick one, contact them, and yeah. Okay? Deal? Leave it. Not during the stream because your little comments, I'm not going to go and rewatch all this. I mean, after the stream is done, comment underneath it. That's the advantage anybody who uploads stuff. They can just say, hey, comment down below. People can go and immediately do that. I can't. You got to wait till after the stream, sorry. So, there you go. All right. How's that, Nick? Philip says, the color scheme reminds me of Cerebria. That was kind of my thinking too, right? And a bit Anachrony. They definitely like their blues and purples. Minecraft, yeah. I'm looking forward to it though. I've yet to play it. I'm going to play it solo tonight, and then we're going to play it tomorrow, and then we're going to stream it on Thursday. What about using web conference tools to stream playthroughs? Maybe a second coin game. Cuba Libre wouldn't require too much handling of pieces on your side. We'll see. I mean, what do you mean by using web conference tools? How would that differ than Skyping in or anything like that, Aaron? All right. Shrey says someone's kickstarting a new edition of the World Cup game at some point this year. I might be tempted by that. All right. Oh, this cup? This was a gift from Clay. So there you go. Yeah, he's buying my my loyalty by buying me a capstone mug. This is actually one of theirs. You guys just don't ever see this side. See, it's even embossed with my name on it. It's really good. Keeps it warm too. So how do you get this? You don't. However, we do have coffee mugs in the store shop. This one, however, this is my favorite mug here recently. Not only does it have like that ceramic lid and everything, but let me show you guys this. For you fellow tea drinkers out there, it has that nice little tea basket that sits in it perfectly. Also works for all my other coffee cups as well. But my favorite thing about it is it's super fine mesh and nothing falls through it except liquid. So it's awesome for loose teas. All right. Tea Hour is now done. So let's see, a new Wallace game, Bloodstones, is supposedly going to Kickstarter this year. There you go. All right. And anything by Martin Wallace, I'm going to check out. Used to be an auto buy. I'm going to check it out nowadays. But that's about as far as we go. Christopher says, wife and I visited Tsukiji Market for a honeymoon. Auctions are gone, but the vendors are still there. It was awesome. Yeah, I think it closed in 2018 and moved a little ways away. But yeah, that would be awesome to go visit. You went there for your honeymoon? Like you visited that, like that was the thing you built your honeymoon around? Or was it just, oh, we were in Tokyo and while we were on our honeymoon in Tokyo, we went to it? I'm curious. Because that's awesome if the former. Just saying. Philip says, was watching Tokyo's Tsukiji Market stream. Now it's sitting in my basket. I'm just saying, if you guys order it, tell Jordan you watched the stream. Because Jess and I had a discussion about this. I said, I thought that went really, really well last night. And she was like, you guys were a little harsh on it. And I was like, no, I thought we were fair. We spoke about our one questionable, the one beef that we had about it, which was the end game with open money and when the auction or the e-auction is in. But otherwise, I thought it was pretty clear that we really enjoyed the game. Thought that came through, didn't it? I hope so. Because if not, might unintentionally upset, bum out Jordan, because I thought we all really enjoyed it. Like, 2 of the guys already ordered a copy. So I guess we're doing it right. Just saying. It was a great Colonial Twilight stream. Just saying. We can run it back. If Laura wants to do it, I'm in. If she wants to. Whew. That was a long one, though. Whew. Apparently, Paint the Roses will be going to Kickstarter, Shrey. Paint the Roses. Porqué? Take care, Luke. Favorite 18XX and why? 1822. It's yet to be supplanted for me. I enjoy the auctions in 18XX games, and that carries it through about 2/3 of the game, which no other 18XX that I encountered has that. I've yet to play 1817 or its derivatives, but I certainly would enjoy trying those out. I really enjoy, for a solo, wow, 1862. That was great. I loved that. That was legitimately good. Not a beginner 18XX, but really good. But yeah, 1822 is still my favorite. What's my opinion about Feudum? Stefan asks. Oh, that last one was by Jonathan. Stefan asks, what's your opinion about Feudum? I dig the artwork. I think it had some really, really cool ideas, and it needed a developer not name the same name as the designer. It's that simple. That almost always is the case. Almost always, when you have a designer who develops their own game, they're too close and they're unwilling to develop things out of the game that should be developed out of it. And I think that was the case with Feudum. Usually the developer and the designer are two different people or two different groups of people, if you will. Now, the designers might have a hand in that, but they don't have sole, it's not their sole discretion. Because whenever this comes up, it makes me think of the interview that I did with Michael Keller, designer of Agra and co-designer with Oda, with Andreas Odinol of, La Granja and Solarius Mission. Michael Keller is an amazing designer as long as he has a strong developer. And what he said, and this has stuck with me ever since this interview. Michael says, you know what, I'm tired of putting that down there. There we go, I just put it there. Michael says, that he's really good at making a really big full tree, right? So in other words, all these mechanisms and designing it out here. What he needs is a strong developer to take this huge overwrought tree and trimming it down to make it into a healthy, really nice full tree. And with Agra, he lacked that. Whereas with Miscellaneous Mission and La Granja and I forget if there's anything else off the top of my head, but Oda was basically that really strong developer, and he didn't have that with Agra. So that has always stuck in my head since then. And so that's exactly my thoughts on Feudum. Is I think it had some amazing ideas. Legitimately, I think it's really. I actually enjoy playing Feudum. The guilds, the way the guild mechanisms work. Although I hate the shape of the board, that super long, skinny board. I wish the guilds were off onto their own boards so that it fits better for streaming. And the shape of the board, just like the travel paths for the various vessels, was just way too tiny. But yeah, I think there were some awesome ideas in Feudum. It just needed better development. But that said, I still enjoy playing the game once in a while. And I won't teach it. I've already taught it. You want to learn how to play? Watch my teach. Done. Aaron, hello. Don't know if you answered this before. What's the status on the possible partnership between HC and Winsome for Age of Steam map reprints? Loving the solo playthroughs. I appreciate it, Aaron. And I have decided I don't want to do that. Just because I think, like, Chad over at Board Game Tables, he and Kevin, I think those guys would be or the Eagle Griffin guys. I think those would be the best two places to do reprints for maps. I don't want to get into publishing, and it's just, I have a hard enough time shipping stuff on my own. I just don't want to do that ever again. So there's no status. That said, our own Vince Alvarez, I know his map. I think it's South China Sea. Forget the exact title. That one is available through BoardGameTables.com. So that's Chad, Deshaun, and oh God, what's Kevin's last name? I want to make sure I get this right. A moment. I don't have Kevin's last name in here, but Kevin and Chad over in Kansas City, those guys that run Age of SteamCon, they are publishing small print runs of those. And I know that we have had a hand in getting some Age of Steam maps either available as print and plays or getting reprinted. Like the Detroit, the Zombie Apocalypse one. That's awesome. The designer saw our stream of it and said, yeah, I'll make it available for print and play. So we have had a hand in that. Same with some of Alvin Viard's designs. But outside of that, I don't want to go into publishing and printing them and delivering them and fulfillment, logistics. Nope, I'll stick to my job here. So. Production and customer service issues aside, what are my thoughts on Barrage for a Golden Elephant Award nomination? It could happen. You guys will find out here in the next couple weeks. There you go. Gabriel, are there any new sponsorships? The only sponsor we have is Geek & Son for our table. Have a gorgeous Virgo that you guys have seen for the last, I don't know, how long has it been? 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, this folds down to where I don't use this one here because I need to be able to get into the table, like whenever we're doing stuff like this, whatever. But I do fold that one down for my notes, and there are 6 stations around here, and there's cup holders in there. I just don't use it because I want the table height, so that's why you see it up here. It's got a speaker or speakers underneath for Wi-Fi music. I'm super thrilled with this table. The only downside, honestly, about the table is it's 8 inches thick. I mean, and I had to get new chairs. So everybody has office chairs around here because they sit a little taller than the regular dining room tables and my Aeron. But yeah, that's the only downside. It's a gorgeous table. I can't wait to have an inset that has the Heavy Cardboard logo on it. So that's it. Just Geek and Son. Definitely recommend checking them out. I know some of you guys supported the Kickstarter that they had, so yay. I appreciate that. Hopefully folks mentioned Heavy Cardboard when you did. But other than that, that's the only sponsor we have. We have partnerships with certain publishers to highlight some of their games. In fact, I have a Vital Lacerda's latest is going to be coming early September. We have... What else? Yeah, you guys know the partnerships, right? Yeah. Oh, Arkwright Card Game 2020 Kickstarter. Well, there you go. I'm intrigued by that one. Quantum Jack says he changed shifts at work. I assume that means I might be able to see more streams. Awesome. Welcome. Congrats, I think. Is that a good shift change, I hope, for you? And Adam says, Gaia Project's amazing solo. All right. Oh, one other thing I didn't mention. Down in your little, like, stations, has a drawer. So I have my Heavy Cardboard notebook. I have my little glass cleaner because I have to wear glasses and various pens. So, there. So allow me to write down Gaia Project. Gail? Really? Whew. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I needed to take a break. I'd kind of... was it Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Be like, hey, Mrs. So-and-so, can I be excused? My brain's full. It's kind of where I was today, so I needed a break. So instead of going and playing Witcher, I thought I would go and play Stream with you guys and hang out. So there we go. Will I do a multiplayer of 62? Stephanie asks. By the way, great solo stream. Hope to see a multiplayer. Here is my answer to that. 2038 will probably be the first multiplayer stream 18XX when we can get back together in person with like Eric Brocious, Joe Huber, those guys. And maybe Jess, we'll see. But 1862, I think, could happen. I've never played it multiplayer. So will it happen? Eventually. Is it on the immediate horizon? No. Could we maybe do it on, like, I don't know, some sort of online implementation? Not super excited about that, but maybe. But you will see 1862, not this week, but next week, because I'm damn determined to do better than I did. And I want to do it again. So I'm going to do it again. Okay? JT says you should do a podcast episode where you review and rate all the Heavy Solitaire games. You know what that sounded like? Let me, hold on. Look, I might as well keep the notebook out. Well, it sounds like JT just volunteered. Not only are JT and I going to review Clinic in an episode, but it sounds like JT just volunteered for top solo heavy solitaire games. So top solo heavy games. Thanks for volunteering, JT, and I'll be in touch. And he knows I'm not kidding. And Nick is all for a solo Noggin Nog. That could happen in a couple weeks. All right. Eric says, you haven't done a table show-off video yet, have you? You have the really fancy version. You should show it off. Here's the problem with that, though. I agree with you. I have not. I have all static cameras, right? I mean, the PTZ can slide back, maybe. Right? Yeah, maybe I could do it with the PTZ. But the problem is, like, what you guys don't see, basically, like from here over, is all the electronics and the TV and the lights and all that. I don't like showing that off. And unlike guys like, no pun included, and FK Lane, all them, and the Shut Up and Sit Down guys, they do all recorded stuff. So they edit all. I don't do that. So could I move the PTZ all the way back and maybe show the different? That I could probably do. So maybe that could happen. How's that? Okay. But it's a live stream, so it's not going to be like super smooth. Like it's going to be here. Let me fumble and do this. As long as you guys are down for that, I will totally show off the Virgo. I will do that next week, in fact. How's that? Cool? That work? If you guys are like, yeah? All right. If you guys are down for that, I'm down for it. John Flea asks, any advice how to learn rules and avoid mistakes when playing the game for the first time? My biggest suggestion is when you're learning a game, expect to make mistakes. Plain and simple. Everybody you're playing with should also anticipate just it being what we call in our game group a learning game. Look, we're going to misinterpret rules. We're going to maybe forget to read something. Like that happened with our first game of Tsukiji Market. We forgot at the end, whoever has the most resources gets 1,000. Whoever has the least pays 500. Now, might have changed things a bit, right? So just know that you're going to make mistakes. Even on a game, I was going to say, even a game that you played a bunch. Like we played Gaia Project a bunch and still screwed up rules in that one. It happens. But advice on how not to. All right. So I think I'm going to answer that by answering a different question, but it should answer that question. I hope that makes sense. So here's what I'm doing right now. Here, I will, I'll show you guys this. Normally I wouldn't, but what the hell. Here we go. Let me zoom this way out. All right. So obviously I pushed everything aside to be able to do this, right? But I have all of my stuff, like my player stuff over in this area. So I'm learning Perseverance today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a 3-player game because our stream's going to be 3 players. So I'm setting up the blue player, the yellow player, red player, although this is going to be green. I digress. And then I read through the rule book with the pieces out in front of me, right? So that I know, oh, okay, these are my dice, for instance, and stuff like that, right? And okay, so I just like being able to have it here because when I do things, when it says, when you set this up, okay, I'm literally moving these pieces around and doing all of those things. When I do that, I've noticed it helps it stick in my head a little better. So to answer your question, I'm not doing a solo stream of this week. I'm doing multiplayer. So I'm setting the game up, and then I'm going to run through a few turns of the game myself as a multiplayer. So basically, okay, I'm playing as the blue player. I'm playing as the yellow. I'm playing as the red player, whatever. I do that, play through it a few times, and then I'll go through whatever final scoring or the end game can do, whatever it is for the given game. And then I'll set it back up and then see if I can do that without having to go back into the rule book. And if not, then I'll go back into the rule book and try and go through it. And then I write my teaching script. And that absolutely helps me cement my learning. I don't expect you guys to do that though. So my best advice would be to set the game up, play a few rounds of it multiplayer in whatever configuration you anticipate playing it as, and then go back through the rule book again, see if you have any questions. Use BGG if people have asked rules questions. I happen to be extraordinarily fortunate that I can actually contact the publisher, designer, developer, whatever. So usually I'll either email or call to answer a question. But other than that, watch our streams. That would be my other thing. But yeah, set it up, learn a game, or set it up then go through the rule book, then play it a few turns, go through the rule book again, and hopefully, for the most part, that should get you ready for most games. So I hope that helps a little bit, maybe. All right. Philip says, as a Brit, I can tell your tea hour always lasts longer than a night. Yeah, So I mentioned to Jess, I said, yeah, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to just do an impromptu Lou Ask the Elephant. Just do it real quick. She laughed at me and said, ha, real quick. No such thing. I figured maybe since I didn't announce it, it wouldn't be too long. Whatever. She's right, but yeah. And Philip, you're right. Corey, what do you do with games you acquired but did not enjoy? Do they stay in the library? Yeah, sadly. I feel like I have a mix between a collection, like I'm a collector of games. I enjoy that aspect of it. I like walking in and having a library of games. I like that. But I also fear that there's a part of me that is absolutely a hoarder to a point. Like, I don't think there's any monopolies in there. There's no Life. There's no anything like that. So I don't need 74 different copies of Monopoly, different types or anything like that. But what I mean by that is after we played a game, I'm like, I don't want to necessarily get rid of it because I'm like, well, what if we want to stream that sometime or we want to do a review? I'm just paranoid getting rid of a game and then needing it again for the show. So I haven't done a whole lot of that. But it's getting really untenable in there. Did I mention just went whole hog and like straightened the whole house? It was insane. This place, you ought to see this. It's amazing. And by see this, I mean, no, I'm not going to show that off. But yeah, she organized a library as well. But there's like rows of games. Like you need to be able to remove these to be able to get to those back there. Like, because I live in a really small apartment, so there's only so much space. So yeah, I'm paranoid that I know as soon as I get rid of games, I'm going to be like, well, we need a copy of that. So I won't sell copies that I've gotten as review copies because that just feels wrong. But then again, I have no qualms selling games. Also, as long as I didn't get them. Honestly, let's talk about that. Hold on. Let me rephrase that. I personally have no problem selling a game that I got as a review copy. I never have done it, though, and I probably never will. And here's why. If you were sent a review copy of a game that you asked for, specifically, I do want to qualify that there are two different types in this. One is one that is solicited by me, one that is not. If you send me a game unsolicited, I'll check it out. I promise to check it out just in general. Past that, the game's going to dictate what, if any, coverage the game gets. However, if I ask for a review copy to either do a review on the podcast or to do a live stream, once that commitment is done, our agreement, you supplied me with the game, I did what I said I was going to do with it. At that point, the deal is done. Like both sides have done their part. You've supplied me with the game, and I have shown the game off, be it a review, a playthrough, whatever it is. So at that point, that's my game. So I have no qualms selling them. However, the optics of that don't look good, so I won't do it. Because there are too many people out there that seem to think that, first off, getting a review copy somehow makes you biased towards the game. I would argue that buying a game makes you biased towards that game because now you have an invested reason to want that game to be good. Whereas if I get a review copy, I get a review copy. I have a long enough track record of being honest to where I don't need to worry about if a reviewer or if a publisher gets pissed off that I don't like their game and I pay them their game and they won't send me more review copies because of that. That's on the publisher in that case. I don't want to work with them if that's how they feel because they are supplying a review copy for a unbiased, fair, honest, and thorough. That's what I promise. Anybody that has a problem with it, I don't want to work with them. So, and by work with, meaning I don't want their games anymore. There are 2 publishers, in fact, where that is the case that I just won't do anymore. I'm not going to mention who they are, but there are 2 publishers that I won't work with. One would probably surprise the hell out of y'all. So this is a very long way of saying I just keep the game so far. Could I donate them like to a library or to? Yes, I could, but I'll be honest. If I donate these games, who am I donating them to? If I donate them to like Goodwill or a library, who's going to play a lot of the games that we get, right? Especially on the heavier end. Like, right? Could I give them away to patrons and all? Yes, I could, but I haven't yet. So there you go. That was a way tangent. And you wonder why these things go 3-4 hours, Edward. Jeez. Okay. Christopher says, did 10 days in Japan between Tokyo, Osaka, Xander, and Kyoto. Okay, so you didn't go just for Tsukiji Market. Okay. Sergio says, now that you mentioned Martin Wallace, an hour ago, there has been an announced an Anno tabletop adaptation. Really? Could be really good. Anno series is really good digital, digital Euros. I've never played them. I'm familiar with the Anno series. Like, I don't know what years those are. But the Anno series, you know me, I love Civ games and that type. So, yes, Europa Universalis is downstairs. The prototype of it. I really want to be able to stream that. I need people here for that. So they actually reached out and they were like, hey, are you going to be able to? I was like, hey, COVID. And they were like, I could do it solo because it is soloable. And they were like, no, just wait. So there you go. Do I know the status of coffee traders? It has not changed to the best of my knowledge since we streamed it when Rolf was here. Or, if you were preferring more updated version, the status has not changed that I've heard since Clay and I did our cocktail hour, the inaugural cocktail hour in March, April, whenever that was. So that's the latest that I know. Aaron says Skype, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, cool. And congrats on the 1862, really entertaining. I'm thrilled to hear that because I am my worst critic that, man, I felt like I backed up. Let me preface this. Rado and I are friends. Rado is a wonderful human being. I love Rado. But I think it's hysterical to watch some of his playthroughs where he's like, yeah, I'm going to do this. No, I'm going to back that up. I'm going to back that up. That was me in 1862, so I felt like I was channeling Richard a lot in that. And I don't mean that as a disparaging thing. I think Rado is awesome. I love his stuff, too. So it's just, yeah, I felt like I was imagining y'all sitting at home watching 1862 going, will you just make a decision and stick with it? So I apologize, but it's good to hear that it was entertaining. Rocky says, if we're looking to run back a coin, my shameless request is Fire in the Lake. Okay, Rocky, so you're going to be one of the players streaming that, right? Okay, let me write that down. Fire in the Lake with Rocky. and with occasional peanut gallery comments from Irene. So, Fire in the Lake with Rocky. Got it. Okay, it's in the book now. Michael says, I thought it looked like you enjoyed the game. I think we're talking about Tsukiji Market. Says, and in fact, I ordered a copy last night. Awesome, Michael. Yay. Christo says, I have never bought an 18XX game. What should I start with as a gateway to 18XX? Let me answer this by asking a question first, Christos. Do you play heavy Euros predominantly? If the answer is yes, then I could make a case for 1846. If you would prefer more the economic machinations, then I would say something like an 1889. I have not played 18 Chesapeake, but I have heard amazing good things about 18 Chesapeake. So maybe that, but again, I haven't played it myself. So 1889, 1846, those have always been my go-tos that I would certainly recommend. And hi, Cray. Daisy Eater 21. Now I'm just picturing I'm picturing a rabbit actually eating a daisy now. Asks, can you do a solo playthrough of Lisboa or the Gallerist? Good news, I've done the Gallerist, and that is my favorite VTOL game to play solo of the ones that I've played thus far. I have not done a solo of Lisboa. Into the book it goes. So the answer is eventually on Lisboa, and I've already done the Gallerist, so yes. I'm going to leave it open at this point. Oh, Christos mentioned that right below that I did a playthrough of Gallery. Trying to do it chronologically, people, all right? Any news regarding dominant species marine? I lied to you, Stephanie. I am so sorry. I said the next time I do this, I'll have an answer for you, didn't I? I remember saying that. I looked you dead in the camera and said that. I have shamed myself. I don't have an answer. Dominant species marine. If it wouldn't make for really bad watching, I would actually grab my keyboard and I would shoot an email off to Tony who's their production manager. I'd do it right now. Just don't think it'd look really good. So I'm going to do that after the stream tonight. How's that? Okay? Brianna says, I want a heavy cardboard Age of Steam map so much. Me too. I don't have any more. I have the old version. The one copy I had, I sold too many on the site and I was one short. So I sent it off. Good news though, Eagle Griffin is supposedly reprinting or officially publishing the heavy cardboard map, which is pretty amazing to me. So hopefully that happens. Southern China. Thank you. That's the Vince map. And apparently it's now sold out. So yeah, now we'll stream it. That's somewhat of a joke, but also true. Oh, there's a Gaia Project solo challenge thread on BGG. Well, I said I was going to do roads and boats next month, right? So, all right, good to know, Pierre. Hi, more coffee. More tea. Corey, Edward, have I seen The Last of Us 2 on the PS4? Just wow. I've seen advertisements for it. I've heard it's amazing. I've heard it's got some really controversial stuff. I'm okay with that. I've yet to play The Last of Us. It's downstairs. I have it, though. I haven't played it yet. Finishing The Witcher. Then I'm moving on to The Last of Us. I'm done with The Last of Us. I'm either going to do The Outer Planets or I'll pick up The Last of Us 2. But I haven't yet. But I've heard amazing stuff about it. All right? Scott says, I've realized recently that doing streams has helped me feel more social in these socially distant times. Do you get that sensation with your streams? Oh, totally, dude. Absolutely, Scott. Why do you think I'm streaming today? Or why I streamed on my birthday? In fact, the last Ask the Elephant was on my birthday on June 8th. Didn't want to be by myself. So even though it's funny, like I'm talking to a camera. You know what I mean? Like you guys aren't in here. So half the time when Jess isn't here, I'm by myself. And it's not like I can go to the casino, right? Well, okay, technically I can. Card rooms are open. I choose not to. Because again, not everyone, anyway. So yeah, this is kind of my way of connecting with y'all. So it's a win-win. I feel like there's no downside here, right? I mean, I get to hang out with y'all. Y'all get to hang out with me, ask questions. You get to be on TV, right? Your questions get answered. So it's a win-win. So yeah, I think this is awesome. So I totally get that, Scott. Totally. Hey, Banker Dave. I like Feudum, but hard to find people who want to learn it. And that's one of the problems. Yup, agreed. Hi, Lars. Good to know JT volunteers as tribute. Good, because you'd already volunteered, JT, whether you knew it or not. So, exactly, Rocky. JT was voluntold. Exactly. So Adam says, Feudum is one of the few games that I would refuse to teach. In fact, I don't recall any other game that I wouldn't teach someone if asked to. That's same. Same. Yeah. Are there massive war games? Come on. Be realistic, right? But like if I were at a convention, like HeavyCon, somebody says, hey, I want to play so-and-so. Can you teach it? Sure. In fact, Vince did this exact thing at HeavyCon 5. So just over, 13 months ago, whatever. And he was like, hey, you want to teach Feudum? I was like, sure. I brought it up on my phone. Said, here you go. I won't teach that. So it seems almost universally that is the game that nobody wants to teach. So that tells me development. In fact, I just saw EFKA from No Pun Included a few days ago, a week ago. All my days are running together. They already were when you work from home already, but even more so now when you really don't leave the house much. So it could have been like 2 days ago. It could have been 2 weeks ago. But EFKA tweeted out, hey, does anybody remember that game Feudum? Yeah, didn't think so. Or me either, or something like that. And it became a discussion on Twitter about that. And yeah, I think it had some amazing, amazing stuff in it. And I enjoy playing it. Just don't want to teach it. And I don't know anybody that wants to go through that, honestly, which is just a bummer. More coffee. Just played my first game of 2010 Vinos. I think I prefer it to the 2016 version. What do I think? I think you are spot on correct. Here's how I say to play Vinos. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't investigated this yet, but let me back up. The 2016 edition of Vinos, which has both the 2010 and the 2016 version in the box. I love that version with Ian O'Toole's artwork. It's gorgeous. I love that. I played the 2016 version once. I have zero interest in ever playing that version of the game again. I only want to play the 2010 version because to me, that is a far superior version of the game. Now, the thing that I was alluding to is I heard that the solo version of Vinos is only played with the 2016 version, or like the 2016, removes the bank and all that. I don't know if that's true or not, but if so, Christos says, my wife tells family members that I like hobby board games. For the next 5 years, I got 27 different versions of Monopoly. But their heart's in the right place. That is the epitome of it's the thought that counts. Mobile Uploads says, I just bought my first 18XX, 1822. Come on, get your feet wet, huh? Says, I was thinking of getting 18 Chesapeake and 1849 next. Good idea. Chesapeake, again, I haven't played it. I've heard nothing but good things. I've heard it's a great entry point. So based on that, I would say sure. 1849, I don't know enough about 49 specifically to be able to answer that. So I don't know. I'm sorry. But Chesapeake, I'd probably encourage you maybe to start with Chesapeake, then go into 22. But if you're really interested in that being, the UK and everything there, and you're willing to really buckle down, then jump into 22. Nothing wrong with that. Good on you. Brian says basically what I just said. 22 is the deep end of the pool. I agree. Ask me how I learned to swim. My biological father, Ed. That's why I don't like to go by Ed, by the way, because he wasn't a good human. Moving in. He taught me when I was a baby. I don't remember this. I was told this by my mom. Here, swim. Threw me into the deep end. I swam. That's how I learned to swim. More Coffee says, I don't know if it's financially viable, but you could do X amount of games each month on a blind auction for patron supporters, but I don't know how that would work. You're going to have to unpack that a little for me, More Coffee. I don't exactly know what you mean by that. So unpack it, and when I get to it in an hour, I'll answer that. Okay? Chad says he just picked up a copy 1854. Looking forward to that, hitting the table. We could play it here when we can. That'd be cool. Brian says, imagine a grandma checking out 1822 to play with her grandkids on a weekend, right? That's what I'm saying. Well, let's be clear. We're not donating 1822. But I'll go ahead and fantasize like that. That grandma, fantasize, probably not the right term there. Indulge that pseudo-reality. That would be a better way to frame. Now I can't get, moving on. Why would I want Wizard of Oz Monopoly? Yeah, why would you? And Nick says your supporters follow you because of your unbiased opinion. Well, no, I mean, it's biased. Everybody has biases, right? I mean, I'm just fair, honest, and thorough, Nick. Here's what I can promise. I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not going to pull punches. I'm not going to be like, I don't want to upset Clay. No. If it's a piece of shit, it's a piece of shit. I apologize. And he would support that. You know what I mean? So, Too many pseudo-reviewers are in it just for free games. So their saccharine, sweet, gushing reviews are worthless. Yeah, I just can't do that. No. Yeah, these games, or these days, a gamer needs to pick their reviewers with care or just stick with me. Yes, on both of those. Oh, hold on. I think I'm going to get in trouble. Hold on. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Told you I was going to get in trouble. Hi, Cray. And Joe says, I think you did really well managing the 62 stream. It's very difficult. It is. It's a hard game, but that was thoroughly rewarding, I think is a good way to put it. I felt like it was a rewarding experience. It was hard, but 62 as a solo, it's more of a 18xx than I thought it was going to be, if that makes sense. I mean, 1862 is an 18xx game. I get that. But I thought it was going to feel hollow. I thought it was going to feel like, okay, fine, we'll do some sort of a solo type thing. But yeah, no, this isn't how this is meant to be played. No. If you were to pick up a copy of 62 with the sole intent of only ever playing it solo, I think that would be a rewarding experience. I think that's a viable thing to, I think that would be a viable reason to pick up that game. So seriously, kudos to Mike Hutton for that, because I'm shocked at how much of a, not only invested was I, but how much it just felt like I was legitimately playing against other players, even if I wasn't in fear of getting tokened out and so on and so forth. So that was really, really good. So, all right. Robert says 18 Chesapeake is a must. There you go. See, like I said, the next bad thing I hear about 18 Chesapeake will be the first. RP, Joe, everybody's saying good things about Chesapeake, so there you go. And Cray says, how about starting with starting with Irish Gauge? They're not 18xx games. That's a Winsome game, right? Or an Iron Rails game if you pick up the, which you're going to pick up the Capstone version, because you can't pick up the Winsome because you can't get a copy of it. But those are not 18xx games. They are cube rail games, and those are different families, and they're very different. Do I think Irish Gauge is a wonderful game? Yes. Would I recommend it? Yes. Would I recommend it as a jumping off point for an 18xx? No, because they're not the same thing, if that makes sense. Rich says, how about a solo of Caverna or Feast for Odin? They're both great solo. I would argue they're, even when you play in multiplayer, they're solo. I'll put them down, though. And to be honest with you, let's see, Fields of Arla, Feast for Odin, Caverna, all those Uwe games are on the docket to get done. I just realized that, hey, I'd already done Agricola fairly, since all this started. And by this, I mean COVID, right? There's that. There was Or at Labora. There was Le Havre. And I'm like, I kind of want to space them out a little. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to go heavy for just Uwe games for a while, just because, yeah, I just was spacing them out. Rocky says, all right, time to go lose some blood. He's donating blood. Good on you. can't do it. For a guy that's as tatted up as I am, I have never been able to donate blood. These needles and shots, I'm okay with. But the one in your arm, you know, for a big bad Marine, no. See this face? Nope. Can't do it. Jess, whenever I have to go get lab work done to get blood drawn, Jess comes to hold my hand and talk to me and distract me, because I am the world's biggest baby when it comes to that. So I'll donate in other ways. Whether it's time or I can't do that. I can't. Oh, Mom Gamer, happy birthday. Cheers. Happy birthday, Mom Gamer. $22? No, that would be too young for a mom. 27, maybe, this year? All right, Richard for coin. Yes, because Richard, it was y'all too that Richard that helped out with Colonial Twilight, did the heavy lifting with that. So definitely appreciate that. That was awesome. Boogie says, hi guys, sitting here quietly enjoying it. Cheers. Thanks for hanging out. Edward, you always say your playthroughs are there to show off the games, but not to show any high-level play. Do you think there's value in starting a YouTube channel dedicated to strategy and high level? I think so. For those that are interested in that. I'm not, for two reasons. Number one of the reasons I play board games is for the exploration of the game space and the decision space. So there are people that play games strictly for the competitiveness of the games. I try and win. I'm trying very hard to win whenever I play a game, but in the end, I don't care if I win, if that makes sense. I'm trying very hard to win, but I don't care if I don't win. I hope that makes sense. So to me, I don't want to lose that sense of wonder and that sense of excitement when you learn about a game and you see cool things that you discovered, whether it's from you doing it or one of your opponents at the table doing it. Mostly whenever you do it, though, or when your opponent does something and it kind of shifts the way you're thinking about the game and it opens up new ideas to you. I like that experimentation and I like that excitement. Whereas that high level, going deep into strategy, I don't want that handed to me. It just doesn't interest me. So that's why, one of the reasons why I just don't do that on the show, number one. And number two, I mean, outside of 18xx games, where I have a couple of massive experts local to me, never going to get that many plays of a game to get to that point. So it's just not going to happen. But is there merit to it? Absolutely. You want to start one, go for it. I support that. But it's just not my thing, and it doesn't interest me. I don't want that on my channel. Now, would I want it it seems the thing to do of late is to bring in other creators under one brand and have more channels or whatever on that. Is that something that I could entertain down the road? I suppose, because that would make sense. But yeah, as far as myself doing it, not going to happen. But yeah, is there merit to it? Absolutely. Go for it. I wholeheartedly support that. Aaron says a solo playthrough of John Company would be easy, be entertaining, a good amount of interesting budgetary, military decisions in that version of the game. That's possible. Honestly, though, yeah, I guess I could probably do it before the next version. comes out. But I was thinking maybe I'd do that with the new version because you can't get the old version. So when the new version is ready, maybe I work with Cole and I do 2 streams, one a multiplayer and one a solo. So maybe. Wimbley says Last of Us 2 is amazing. Again, that's what I keep hearing. MBO says, have you done Cooper Island solo yet? If you watched mine and Jess's play of it, the answer would be yes. You saw that she smoked me, so sort of. I'll put it down, though. So part of when Jess cleaned up in here, I didn't ask her to. She just went whole hog. I have a 4x4 Calyx over there that was basically stagnant games that I wasn't going to stream anytime soon, and I wanted to trade it out with games that either I needed to do or I really wanted to do. And so this is going to be a list of games that I can put over there that are a lot more relevant as opposed to the same old stuff that just isn't going to. So I appreciate the suggestion, y'all. Robert, it's too hard to read people at the table when they're wearing a mask. That's so overrated. No, people still, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That is so overrated. Just simply, no. The only way I lose at poker at the stakes I play is if I get impatient or I get unlucky. That's it. That's it. Very rarely will, yeah, so no. Honestly, if there was a way to ensure that I couldn't get sick, I would have no problems going and playing poker with a mask on and with everybody else. In fact, I'd be okay with not wearing a mask and they wear a mask. In other words, like I'm not worried. From a hiding tells standpoint is what I mean. Tells are really overrated when it comes to facial or anything like that. So, but I hear you, Robert. Stephanie, have I ever played 1835? No. One of my favorite 18xx's. I don't own 35. Don't own 49 either, that was asked about. I don't own Chesapeake. I would like to fix that on some of those. Brianna says, I gotta say, these streams instantly perk up our days. So thanks so much, Edward and Jess, and everyone who's attended virtually and in person. That's what I'm saying. Cheers. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. This improves my disposition. I was all like, kind of like, mopey a little bit earlier, and this has helped me. So I appreciate it, y'all. First Martians solo. Don't own it, Stacy. So I can't do First Martians. Now, the other one that is Martians, A Story of Civilization. Is that what it's called? Apparently I heard it's a terrible rule book, but it's actually a pretty good worker placement game. I have it in there. Haven't played it. The last time I had it out, I had started learning it. This was when I was in Denver and just haven't gotten back to it. I lost my spot. Hold on. Okay, Matt asks, has your poker stint taken a pause with COVID? Yes, and it's killing me. Yeah, what's rough on the poker stuff for me is, all right, so where I live, which is essentially, we'll call it just kind of northwest of Boston by about 20, 25 minutes. Encore Boston Harbor, which is the biggest poker room on the East Coast. There are 77 tables there. That has been shut down since all this went to heck. And poker rooms around the country have started to open back up. And some in Arizona and Vegas, they have like those plastic partitions and all this stuff. Some if you watch any live streams like I do of poker, so like Texas Card House has them. Apparently Live at the Bike just came back, Live at the Bike. Some of these places are not enforcing masks and all that. And just Poker has got to be one of the nastiest games in the world because poker players are some of the worst people in the world, like just when it comes to degenerates or just not healthy, clean people in general. I can say this as having been a professional poker player. I've been around it enough to where I can speak to that. So poker chips are some of the nastiest things, and you'll see people like eating a hamburger and then going straight to and so their hands are on their food, and I'm like, ugh. I'll eat at a poker table, but with a fork, like a salad or something. But I digress. Point is, there are poker rooms about 20, 25 minutes from my house, across the border in New Hampshire, that are open right now. Some are requiring masks, some are not requiring masks. I have no interest ever going into the place that does not require masks right now. The ones that do require masks, there's a guy by the name of Ethan who does Rampage Poker. He and I are buddies. He has a channel, Rampage Poker, and he does not live streams, but you know, he's one of the poker vloggers. He goes up to Boston Billiards Club, and I've been watching it, and the play there, everything is six-handed, and I'm dying because that's what I would excel at. And I can't in good conscience go right now, and it's killing me because there's money to be made, and I want to, and I do it for fun. I do it for enjoyment. I do it as my way of decompressing, and I can't do it. I can, legally, I can go up there. But I can't say, hey, continue social distancing, continue wearing your mask, continue doing all this stuff. Be smart people. When the COVID rates are shooting up through the roof nationwide here in the States. And I can't say that and then do that. Like, I can't. But it's killing me. I really want to go play cards. I really, really miss it. Yeah, that sucks. So I miss it. So it's taking a break. I feel better that I got that off my chest. Thank you. All right. Oh, blind auctions for patron support. Oh, for how I could get around selling games from the collection. Oh. Yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon, More Coffee, but I appreciate you thinking outside the box. Thank you. Hey, Oliver. How are things over here? If you mean quite literally here at HCHQ, things are going great. In the States? But yeah, I think could be worse, right? Could be the end of the world. But yeah, things are going well today. Jess says, I was told by the Red Cross to never come back to give blood because I'm always dehydrated. Well, if you would drink something other than coffee, I'm just saying. Come on, Jess. Oh, interesting. Joe says, I lived in the UK at the wrong time, and now the Australian Health Department does not want my blood. Like, was it, like, what, I mean, you got to unpack that, Joe. And now I'm curious. Yeah, if Jess is not here, that means Cooper is with Jess. The end. By the way, okay, serious talk for a moment. Getting Cooper, and the fact that Cooper is only here half the time, I've considered, or I am considering, maybe, getting another greyhound. Oh, okay. Okay. Mad cow disease in the UK. Thank you for clarifying that. So I'm considering maybe getting another greyhound, since that way I can have a dog here. Because let's face it, I'm not going anywhere for the next 6 months, right? I'm not going to any conventions or anything like that because Essen's canceled. BGG recently canceled theirs. PAX East is going to get canceled. Yeah, so I'm going to be here 24/7 for the next at least 6 months. So I miss my boy. Don't get me wrong. I miss Asher. I do. But Yeah, I think maybe it's time to get another greyhound, maybe. So, maybe. We'll see. So, I'm thinking about it. Anyway. Billy Mustache never fails to make me smile when I see that name. Hour and a half gone, so 4 more hours left for the Ask the Elephant. All right. Banker Dave, no one will let me give blood because of my misspent youth. The 60s were good to Dave. Oliver, what's up with Perseverance on the shelf? Well, we have a stream on Thursday for Chapter 1 and a stream on Friday for Chapter 2. That's what. Scott says, something I like about strategy tip videos / guides is when they can push you in the right direction versus telling you what to do. Some games need a jumping off point to really begin that journey. I guess for some folks, I could see merit to that. I don't necessarily agree that I personally need that, but I could see merit to that. Yeah. Billy Mustache says, I just got Expedition Zeta arrive. Tomorrow the HC video will be my guide. Happy early Canada Day, eh? All right, enjoy. Nice. If you're on social media, tag me, Billy, so I can follow along with your expeditioning. So something I was thinking about. So Oliver here says, I've yet to get Democker to the table. It's only to get play with my game group, but we're only meeting via Discord and online game platforms. So here was something I was thinking about late last night because I couldn't sleep. Was I want to maybe, I don't know if this works. This isn't a fully formed idea here, but I wanted to get your guys' take on this as well. Might as well. I have an audience for it, so let's talk about this. Let's take a game that has some amount of hidden information, right? So whether it's a hand of cards or I'm trying to think of a game where it doesn't have a ton of cards that you're going to be churning through, but some. Like a hand of cards that you could reserve for something, and I'm doing a really poor job of thinking of this, but one that doesn't require shuffling during the game also. But what I was wondering was a game in which there are 2 copies between me and somebody else in my game group to where we can essentially seed the deck, right? One of us shuffles the deck, and then I have the memory of a goldfish in a lot of ways to where, let's say Andrew and I were to play, I'm just going to throw something out that may or may not apply, but something like a Command and Colors Ancients, let's just say, right? To where he Skypes in, and we each have a deck of the exact same setup cards, right? To where, okay, card number 91, 52, 14, 7, he tells me what order his cards are in. And then I make my own deck. And we do that a couple days before we stream. And then we stream it to where, oh, hey, I'm drawing 2 cards. So he takes the top 2 cards off of his deck there in person, and then I draw them. So our decks are set up the same, and I'm never going to be able to remember the order in which that deck was set up. So I wonder if that would maybe work. And what that made me think was Oliver's comment about Democker was it would require some amount of shuffling though, so I don't think that works. But if you could do it with a big enough deck of cards that doesn't require getting shuffled, I think that could work. You know what I mean? So it was just something I was thinking about. Again, trying to think outside the box on how to do this stuff. So anyway, Board Game Trucker, the reason you didn't hear this was on today is because I didn't say it was going to be. I just decided to do it. And Christopher says, I don't know if you covered it, but it's awesome of GMT to do their giveaway for those that lost their job to COVID. They did this during the recession, during the housing market, when that crashed, when people lost their jobs and everything, they were out of work. They did the exact same thing. And I actually did a pod blast about them way back when, about that. And I think that's amazing. Basically, it's on the honor system. Hey, send us some games you want, and we'll send you one or two. Just to try and keep your spirits up. How is that not amazing, right? So, that's cool. Take care, Chad. I know he's probably already gone to dinner, eaten, and is probably on his way back. Oh, that's a bummer, Oliver. Says, Martians, the story of civilization. I was right about the name, at least. Terrible rule book, and there is a specific strategy that wins you the game every time. Really? Damn. I'm okay with the terrible rule book. I can deal with that, but really, that last part kind of bums me. Benjamin says, I missed the Colonist solo. I have to go back and watch that. Do so. Oh, that's cool. Christopher says, also just found out that my club advisor for my board game club on my campus is the same Harold who made Liberty or Death. That's awesome. Very cool. I would like to sit down and chat with him at some point, too. Race for the Galaxy solo, Stacy says. You can play that solo? Really? Shrey, how have you not told me about this? Shrey and Martin, for that matter, both of them are huge race fans. So, When do I think I'll do another top 20 games? Well, I know we're going to do some top 6s, and we're apparently going to do a top 20 solo. Have I played 20? Maybe a top handful? JT will probably have a longer list than me, though. And Joe, mad cow disease. That's exactly it. Yep, Jess was right. Amazing. Oliver said, sorry, I meant to go to bed, but I heard my question being read out, so I had to stay. No, go to bed. It's okay. I don't want to keep you up. It's fine. Tony, still here. Really, Tony? Cray says we chose our dog so it would fit through a cat flap. That's funny to me. Greyhound would not, unless it was a really big cat. Seems folks are very, very on board with the idea of me getting a greyhound. I want to find a vet, a greyhound's vet that is good with greyhounds first. If I find one that's close, that's not an arm and a leg, I'll commit to doing that. Okay, Jess? Tony's got jokes. Ben, have a basset hound here at home. Fully support the dog decision. Non-coin war game recommendation. How many players, Patrick? I'm catching up here. Hold on. Bo Ali, you're late, but you're here. That's what matters. Sorry, I had to translate that because I cannot read Arabic. I think that's Arabic. I think it's Arabic. So I had to translate that. But welcome. I appreciate you joining. Jess is messaging me with vets. So she is very much on board with me getting a greyhound. So it's not her type of dog though, but she sent me a picture of one and I was like, oh, that face would own my soul. Unachimba, played my first game, Empire of the Sun. Look forward to your stream with Mark Herman. Me too. Maybe a preset deck like 7th Continent. See, I want to do 7th Continent solo, though. So that would be... more coffee. He's talking about Viticulture Tuscany, having a really good Automa. One that I would highly recommend, legitimately, is the Gallerist. That was fantastic, that Automa. I was really, really impressed with that. And I'll be honest, if you go back, I would have to go back and look at what streams, because I'll be honest, I told you, I have the memory of a goldfish sometimes, so I can't always remember what I've streamed. So I know that sounds stupid probably, but like I can't tell you what I streamed last week because I streamed so many. So, but some are definitely better than others, but the Gallerist, I was really impressed with that one. Oh, wow. Nick says, I was sent details of the Spiel Digital event, which is the Replace S in 2020. I was stunned to see that the smallest virtual stand weighs in at 600 euros, meaning to have a stand there at the virtual Essen. It's almost the same price as a stand at the actual Essen. Really? That seems crazy. Huh. All right, I need the Gathering Storm expansion. All right, race with Gathering Storm. All right, noted. Thank you, Mohammed and Joe, for that. And Stacy. Yes, it would. Aquina. This name kills me every time. Aquanish. I'm going to get it. Aquanishish. Whatever, I tried. Would Sekigahara be a good game for your idea since each player has a dedicated deck for their side? Yes, something like that would be perfect for exactly what I was talking about. Like basically Andrew would shuffle up his deck and play his cards, and then I would just, yeah, I think that would be perfect for that idea. I think that'd be, oh, no, it wouldn't. Wait a minute. He would have to be able to see his pieces. Nope, terrible idea. Doesn't work. Never mind. Because he can't see his pieces. Ah! But yes, you're thinking the right way. Yes, exactly. All right? Shrey, solo games are not my thing, so I never look for those rules about rice. All right, fair point. Bo, so is it Bo Ali? Is it Ali Bo? Is it just Ali? Is it just Bo? Watching in Kuwait. This never gets old to me. Like, this is fascinating to me that you guys are all around the world. Like, I know we have Australia, we have New Zealand, we have the UK, we have Germany, Kuwait, apparently. We have Canada, the US. Like, this is amazing to me that you guys come and hang out today. Like, this is why I do this, right? Yes, I could do Twilight Struggle with the app or on Steam, but again, I would prefer a physical version. And Tony supports Naga na Nog. It's Tales of the Northlands, the Sagas of Naga na Nog for those scoring at home. But yeah, apparently Tony's been enjoying it solo, so that'd be a good stream. Already marked that one down. Navajo Wars, Comanche, Comancheria, definitely solo. Yes, a retired racing greyhound, Kevin. Take care, Brian. I'm sure Brian's already back by now. Can't get a cat, Rocky, because Cooper, not cat safe. Aw. So Billy Mustache has said, I have to take off to make dinner and finish some errands. But you know, June's been a hell of a month. Isolation, the relationship end of my partner and I, spending all this past Sunday in the emergency room. I'm healthy, but had a scare last year, so I take things seriously. But the reason I'm saying all this is participating in the board gaming community has really helped carry me through. I love these live shows and conversations. I'm grateful for all the new players I've met via Board Game Arena, Tabletop Simulator, etc. Look forward to the second half of the year being incredible. Cheers, y'all. That's awesome. Cheers, Billy. Cheers. That's what this is about, you know? It's about our community, about one another. Even though you guys are there and I'm here, we're still in this together, right? Speaking of which, give it a thumb down below. Subscribe, support the show, pledgehc.com. Certainly appreciate it. But yeah, I fully, stay safe, everybody, Billy included. Yeah, this is one of the things this is my favorite thing about this. And that's the only, honestly, it's the only thing I miss about conventions is meeting people, seeing friends, making new friends. That's it. That's all I miss about conventions. I mean, picking up new games is cool, don't get me wrong, yeah. But yeah, that's what I miss, really. Fried peanut butter and jelly? Patrick? Fried? Like, okay, so let me picture this. There's two ways that I'm picturing this. So you do a peanut butter and jelly like I'm imagining a grilled cheese, right? You put on butter, or you put melt butter in a pan, put a piece of bread down, peanut butter on one side, jelly on the other, then flip it, and it's crusty on both sides on the outside. Okay, I could see that. Or do you mean like deep fried, like dunking it, the bread in a fryer and it just puffs up? Or do you like dip the whole thing in batter and put that in a fryer? Like, so many questions now, Patrick. These are important things. I need to know this. I love peanut butter and jelly because I'm the world's biggest 5-year-old, apparently. But yeah, now I'm intrigued by this. Great community. Keep up the awesome job. I appreciate that. Is the goldfish my spirit animal? We're not supposed to use the term spirit animal, but I understand what you're getting at. Sometimes I'm like, oh, squirrel. Yeah, totally. That in my memory just is not as good as it used to be. Ask Jess. She's like, I just told you that I reminded you about, yeah, my bad. My bad. My bad. Brianna says, Jess texting you about the dog is how we got our Mr. Koopy. I bombarded Corey with links. Apparently the, shoot, I lost my spot. Hold on. Where'd we go? There we go. Apparently Race for the Galaxy, the app though, but I kind of want to show it as a, like, doable. Like, apparently there are people that didn't know that it could be played solo. Shrey knows I'm messing with him. Jonathan says the shuffler that you demoed at the beginning of the stream is sold out now. Back in stock in a few days though, but just saying. All I did was show it off because people in Slack were asking about it. That's all I did. I get nothing for that. It was a public service announcement. I'm just trying to help you all out. Aquinas-ish. Oh, Adam says, no worries, Adam. You have people for that who remember what you've streamed. Again, Adam is our timestamp expert. So yes, thank you, Adam. And oh, by the way, since I got a bunch of you here, there's two things I want to point out. If a live stream goes over 4 hours long, YouTube takes forever to process it. So what happens is if you come in after the live stream ends and before that processing done, which sometimes can take 10 minutes and sometimes I've seen take as long as like 48 hours. It's random. I have no idea. I have no control over it. I don't do it. It is YouTube doing it. If you come in after it ends, but before it's done processing, it starts at the halfway point. So people message me and they leave comments, hey, the first half of the video is missing or the teach or whatever. Just come back. It will be there once it's done processing. I don't know that it's processing any different than you guys do other than I go and, oh, the 4 hours and 37 minutes is there as opposed to the 2 hours and 37 minutes or whatever it is. So just FYI. So hopefully that alleviates that question, number one. And number two, a lot of people are like, hey, what about timestamps? Adam does an amazing job timestamping all of our videos. Okay, so he is the most thorough timestamper I could ever imagine in my entire life. And then Chris is the one who actually posts them to the videos. It takes a few days for that to happen. So I beg your patience on that because these guys are volunteers. They do it because they want to. I buy them games or I give them games as payment because that's what they want. And so I have offered to pay the volunteers and they said, no, we don't want to get paid because then it becomes an obligation, yada, yada, yada. So that said, be patient with that. They are coming. And Adam and Chris do an amazing job with that. So thank you guys. So I just beg your patience on those two things. Okay? Thank you. That's funny that it's sold out. Saudi Arabia, Mohammed. Iceland, Denmark. This is amazing, isn't it? Like we're all in here together. This is awesome. I love you guys. It's Bo Ali. All right. Okay. Oh, that means father of Ali. All right. Pendragon Solo. I don't own Pendragon yet. The good news is I can get most of the games that I don't own if I want, but I'll add it to the list. There was one earlier someone had asked about, and I said I don't own it. Oh, that was First Martians. I've heard, how's that rule book? Is it worth me reaching out to Portal for that or not? You guys tell me, Pendragon. Have a good one, Oliver. Thanks. Joe says the PAX games have solo modes. Yeah. I did. I still haven't done PAX Premier 2nd Edition. I did say I was going to do that one. Okay. Apparently that was a spot-on Basset Hound impression, so good. All right, thank you. Try the veal. I'll be here all week. Zolkin is all... There's no hidden information in Zolkin, is there? Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, I'm not willing to do Zolkin because I don't have a painted wheel. That'd be embarrassing. Nope, can't do Zolkin. Sorry, not unless I get somebody else's copy that's already has a painted wheel. Can't do it. All right, Bo Ali says, I watched your play of Ottoman Sunset, and I'm trying to find a gameplay of Habsburg Eclipse. Did I do Habsburg Eclipse? I don't know if I did. I have it in there. I'll add it down. I genuinely don't know if I've streamed it or not. All right. If I haven't, I will try and get on that, Bo Ali. All right. Peanut butter on the outside, chocolate inside, butter inside, cheese out. Wait, what? What? What is that? What kind of, what? Robert says grilled cheese should be with mayo, not butter. What? All right, Patrick says battered and fried in a pan. I'll throw the pic up on the cooking Slack. All right, yeah, we added a channel for cooking. People asked for it in Heavy Cardboard Slack. By the way, video game Slack channel. I need to do that today as well. I was pestered into doing that. So if you are a patron at the $5 and up level, you get access to the Slack channel and all these conversations. I would ask that when I start the video game Slack channel, it's not all Animal Crossing, please thread, and no Last of Us spoilers. Or Last of Us 2 spoilers, to be clear. All right. Cray says, hang on, you battered and fry a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The hell? That's all I'm saying. I hear you. Nick, will I be at LyriaCon 2021? I think it'll be a quality turnout, lots of new things to see. The plan was to go this year. Tentatively, we'll be going next year. But I ain't promising anything, given the state of the world right now. So, maybe? I'd like to. So we'll see. Plus, pastiche, what's the custard? So, maybe. Long story short. Oh, now Christopher's trying to buy me. That might work. Just saying, if that continues, that might work. Thank you, Christopher. Cheers. Vincent says, being cooped up at home hasn't really been amazing, and I want to go play Melt My Brain games with the herd. Any changes to HeavyCon next year? As of right now, no. I'm just trying to make it through June. And today's June 30th. Am I the only one that feels like this has been the longest year in history? And yet, blink, and it was January. Like, this is the weirdest year. I mean, obvious, literally, it's been the weirdest year of our lives. I get that. But I'm saying in a sense that this feels like it's been going in slow motion and also going at fast forward at the same time. Whew. It's been a weird one, huh? Joe says, conventions can be embarrassing. I've met some of my favorite YouTube people. To me, they've been living in my living room weekly, so I know them. For them, they have no idea who I am. It can be awkward. Not at all. So I've gotten used to that. Does that sound like contrived? Like, just a fact. Like, I know that you guys know me. I don't know you, right, in a sense. And this is me, like, this is how I am. So no, I mean, we just have a conversation, just hang out, we'll play some games, depending on what convention and what time of day it is, whether or not that's feasible. But yeah, totally. It's not awkward at all. I'm used to it at this point. And kind of like, this might sound weird, and I hope not, but when I do interviews with whoever, my job is to put them at ease and we're just a couple folks hanging out, right? Just talking. And I kind of see that as my job regardless, whether it's at a convention or whatever, we're just hanging out, talking. So it's cool. It's not awkward at all. Totally fine, Joe. And Stacy says, I've yet to go to one of the big conventions, probably because I worry about the same awkwardness. Not at all. Don't. Just here. Ultimately, here's what matters, okay? If you're looking to play a game and you're worried about coming up to a table that has like a players wanted sign or whatever, you know what you have in common with every single person that's there? You like games. You just want to play games. I mean, I would say 90+% of the people that are going to be at these things are just cool humans. You always have your 10%. But yeah, so that's the awesome thing specifically about HeavyCon. Doesn't matter if you've been there before, doesn't matter if you're there by yourself. Hey, you want to play a game? Come on, let's go play a game. We have that in common, and that's awesome. So don't be afraid of that at all. All right, that is a totally... I mean, there are groups of people that go to these conventions, which I find it funny, like, we'll go to a convention to play with each other. What? No, play with different people and stuff, but ultimately, find games and people whose interest is similar and enjoy your time. That's all. Matt says Pendragon Solo would be an 1.5 teach and 10-hour stream with that battle system and 3 flowcharts. And? Have you met me? Robert says, I had Pendragon for about 30 minutes at HeavyCon, then I got it swindled out of it. Apparently he traded. One of the cool things that we do at HeavyCon is everybody gets a grab bag. And in that grab bag, they have some sort of giveaways, some sort of game giveaways. And you get those 2 days into HeavyCon. But in the meantime, you can trade your vouchers. So it helps break the ice, and it also helps people get games that they want to get. So it's pretty cool. Veal, my favorite. Thank you, Cole. Cheers. And the bribery is strong with them. I'm just saying, if we had $100, PAX Premiere 2 happen in 2 weeks. Barrage Solo. Okay. Spirit Island. I don't own it. I've heard amazing things about it, but man, that's one game that's going to take a little arm twisting. Legit. For some reason, it just doesn't excite me at all. Kyle says, for Zolkin, project time, painting with Edward. That might could happen. Have to put a tarp down over the table, but yeah. Brianna says, we've really enjoyed the crew at 2 players. That could happen with Jess, maybe, yeah. Cole says, really loved the stream last night. I appreciate it. I had a blast with it last night. Apparently, we were pretty harsh in the round table, I guess, but just pointing out the positives and the negatives, but I loved it. I definitely recommend it. I think it was a fantastic game last night. Do I have any more models to build? I don't. Like the dice tower and the card holder. I need to reach out to U-Gears. They, yeah, I need to put it down. There you go. I don't hate Animal Crossing. I've never played it. No. I'm just saying I don't want just thread things. That's all I'm saying, okay? Pastel de nata. Thank you, Brianna. Oh. Basically, cheesecake and custard. Only 2 desserts you need in life, in my opinion. But I did, oh, by the way, since the last time, I had mentioned that had a cheesecake for dessert, right? And it was a Costco cheesecake, like it was a cheesecake, right? It was delicious. But I did find a limit on how much cheesecake one person can eat in a week. Yeah, I reached my threshold on that. So you do got to space it out. Variety is the spice of life and all that. But still, cheesecake, all-time favorite dessert. But there's a limit on how much you can have in 1 week. Whew. And Kyle says, yeah, hardly remember what day it is anymore. What is Vectrix, Scott? Yeah, and Brianna says, I actually feel like you interact with us so well via this that you get to know us a bit. And that's true, right? Like, it's funny. Like, I might not recognize you at a convention, but when I see your name tag, I'll be like, oh! Like, and I feel like I know you guys that frequent the streams as well. So, yeah, it's not awkward at all. No, I'm joking. Bad joke. Ask Jess. Bad jokes. Terrible. All the time. See? Gabriel left, came back. I told you we'd still be here. Whatever. Can't wait to share marine jokes with you, Edward. I'm down. Eric says, can confirm that Edward and Jess are exactly the same person as they are on stream, except both of us cuss more in real life. That's it. Simon says, sorry, need to ask this question before dropping my son to school and watch the answer later. Not sure if it was asked. It wasn't. But will David Turtsey week be happening again later this year when the restrictions ease? Unlikely that happens in 2020. Could it happen again in a few, or not again, but what we had planned? David was going to fly here. We were going to stream all 4 of his games, including, but alas, the world ended. So no, that is not scheduled and not going to happen. I feel pretty confident saying, nope, not going to happen in 2020. Could it happen again in the future? Yes. Who knows, though? So, unfortunately. Now, will David be here on Thursday and Friday? I imagine he will be. He'll be in chat, for sure. I feel pretty confident saying yes. I haven't talked to David about that, but I feel pretty confident that's going to be the case. Spirit Island isn't co-op if it's solo. I know. Milkshakes are better than custard shakes? Or custard... Damn it! What is that sign when it's that direction? I can't remember. Is that less than or greater? I can never remember that. I love milkshakes, but when you're borderline lactose intolerant, the belly doesn't like them so much. Future me is pissed. Current me loves them, though. How's that? Kyle says, regarding Tokyo Tsukiji Market, never thought I'd be so enthralled about a fishing game or a fish game. I know, right? It was really good. Jonathan, is Tsukiji Market the best way to get the container experience without getting container? It's extremely expensive, so if not, so I'm not getting it anytime soon. I mean, they're different games. Legitimately, they are. Let's be clear. Like, you're not... The way the auction market, the external market in Tsukiji Market works is identical to the way it works in Container. But the rest of the game is very much different. But the soul of the game feels similar. So to answer your question, I get what you're saying, and yeah. But honestly, I could see a case for owning both. But if you're not going to be able to afford getting Container, then yes, I can endorse getting Tokyo Tsukiji Market to kind of scratch that Container itch. And I really wish I had known that the guys had not played Container before this week or this past week, because I would have tried to have got a game of Container in first so that they could compare and contrast. So that was, I didn't even I just assumed they had, and that's boo on me. But yeah, so sorry about that, guys. Too much cheesecake. That's quitter talk, Marine. I'm just saying, I reached the threshold, man. Eric says he can't stand cheesecake at all, and yes, I've been told you're weird for that. No, you're not weird. You're just wrong. Ooh. Those are two games that I actually am really excited to play. Imperial Struggle and Versailles 1919. Good call. Which one? I don't know. Both? I want to get them both, and I want to stream them both. So there you go. There's a couple that I would be excited about. Eric says, look, it means there's more for you and everyone else. Okay, fair take on that. That's fair. Yeah, and Jess doesn't like cheesecake either, which is, she'll eat it, but she would rather have, say, a coconut cream pie or chocolate cake. Ask me how I know this. Yeah, I want to play them both, so I don't know, Christopher, but we will see. So milkshake. Yeah, the open side faces the greater side. That's what I thought. That it, like the alligator eats the bigger thing. That's what I was taught. But there is a term for each one, right? So, but yeah, custard shakes. Yes, custard is amazing. Just anyway. Adam says pointing left is less than. Right. That's what I'm saying, right? Because even if it were pointing to the right, the bigger one's still going to be on the left. I understand the concept, but I don't know which, I can't remember which is less than and which is greater than. So I struggle. Okay. The struggle is real, people. Thoughts on the PS5? Damn if that doesn't look good. I want one. It's funny. I recently picked up the PS4, right, a couple months ago because of Clay. And I was able to get it cheap. And I only bought games that were $20 or less because I don't have that much money. And I was like, hey, you know, I use poker money for that. And I was like, I justified it. I have a hard time spending money on myself, okay, outside of food. And I justified it to myself like, you know what? I never got this generation's system. I haven't bought a brand new system since the PS2. I know I waited in line for. I think we waited in line for the PS3. I can't remember. It's been a long time. But I completely just didn't get a PS4 or Xbox, whatever. And so I justified it to myself going, I'm not going to need the PS5 for a while because I got all these games and I can wait for the bugs to get worked out and get the second version that comes out, inevitably, the new system. And then I really got into The Witcher 3. And I've been watching a lot of videos on the PS5. And oh my God, that thing looks amazing. It looks ridiculously good. And I was convinced it would be $800, the PS5. But I keep hearing that it might be like $400, $500. And then I'm like, if I use poker money for that, I could pick it up when it comes out. So I'm definitely trying to not talk myself into it. But this is how I'm going to justify it. Let's be clear, okay? If I cannot go and play poker, by the time the PS5 comes out, I'm buying a PS5. The end. If I can, then poker will be able to distract me from needing to buy a PS5 and the craving to buy a PS5 because I'll go and play poker. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, the T-Rex eats the greater one, not just the game. See what you did there, Eric. I may have misspoke or you may have misheard me, Joe. It says during the live stream of 62, you mentioned watching Mike Hutton's videos. It was during the setting of the par prices. Where'd you find? I haven't watched any Mike Hutton videos. I don't know what that was in context to. I can't remember, but I either misspoke or you misheard me. So I apologize. Sorry to put you down a wild goose chase there. Oh, Vectrix, a weird game console from the 80s that used vectors instead of pixels for graphics. Interesting. All right. See, I remember like Utopia from the Intellivision, Coleco. I remember Donkey Kong Jr. for the Coleco. Like I was too poor to own any of these systems. I had an Atari 2600 and that was it. And so I'd go to friends' houses that had way more money. Their parents had way more money than mine did. And so I would play their systems over there and being amazed at those. And so, I remember, here's a story that no one asked for. When Nintendo had come out, there's no way we were going to be able to afford a Nintendo. And we went to there's a grocery store that was across the street. Thank you, Christopher. Cheers. I appreciate that. There was a grocery store across the street. I can't remember what year the Nintendo came out. I was in my preteen, early teen years. I forget which it was. I didn't have a job. I couldn't have a job yet. And we couldn't afford a Nintendo. But there was a new grocery store had just opened up by where the apartment that we were renting. And in the grocery store, it had a tiny little video store, like VCR, like videos, right? And maybe beta back then too. Might have had both. I can't remember. But it had a promotion that the 100th person to sign up at the video store got a free Nintendo. So, being a poor kid and knowing there's no way I'm ever going to be able to get a Nintendo, I asked them, how many signups have you had? And they had something like 36, I think it was. And I looked at my mom at this point and I said, Mom, I really want a Nintendo. Can I stay here? She was like, yeah, sure. So for the next 3 or 4 days, if the store was open, I sat there at the video store inside the grocery store waiting. And I went to the payphone outside when we got to 97, and I called my mom and asked her if she could come and sign us up because I was too young to get ready. And she did. And damn Skippy, yours truly got a Nintendo. What? RBI Baseball. Love that game. Just saying. Anyway, story time's over. Okay. The man with the sword stabs the weaker. I love all the different ways people remember the greater sign or less than sign. Oh, okay, that's cool, Scott. Very cool. Favorite Age of Steam map for 5 players? Am I allowed to say the heavy cardboard map? Because it's really good at 5 players. For it being my all-time favorite Age of Steam map, I can never remember the name of this map. It's the other side of Disco Inferno. It's the Heaven and Hell one in Purgatory. That's awesome at 5 players as well. It's brutal at 5 players, but it's awesome at 5 players. So, somebody will post it. Coconut cream pie. I'm there with you. Cole. Key lime pie. Hey, Jess, how'd you like that key lime pie I made? I think I make the world's greatest key lime pie. Bar none. Just saying. Oh, Scott says, okay. Pointing to the right is greater than. You read left or right. So if the alligator is eating the bigger number and the bigger number comes first, you would always say X is greater than Y. So X, Y. So X is less than. Ah! That might stick. Ah, all right. Good stuff. New Horizon game, Forbidden West, coming for the PS5. I need to actually finish Horizon Zero Dawn, which means I need to restart it because I was playing that on Matt's. Now I want cheesecake, Patrick says. Only a birthday cake, as is my son's 5th birthday today, and I wanted a unicorn cake. You know, you could have gotten yourself a cake. You're a grown-up. You're allowed to do that. But happy 5th birthday to young Master Lather. This is still going? Really, Rocky? Really? You need to say it like that? Seriously? I'm just trying to answer all the questions. If you guys take the time to ask, I'm going to answer them. You know that. Make me feel bad about that? Make me self-conscious, Rocky? Ask your wife what that does, huh? Sorry. E says, I bought the PS3 and Rock Band with poker money. Favorite cookie? I mean, chocolate chip cookie with toasted walnuts. That's a hard to beat cookie. I make a pretty mean peanut butter cookie though. I do love me some peanut butter cookies. Let's see. Store-bought, right? Fudge Stripes. The knockoff brands are not as good. I'm sorry, Keebler Elves, have it down for the Fudge Stripe, okay? Milanos. Oh. However, for the last few years, let's say, there is a, and Jess might be able to answer this, I'm not sure. There is a butter cookie, essentially. It's a tea biscuit. Leibowitz or something like that. They come in a rectangle shaped package, like yellow or an orange or yellow and red or something. Those with tea are for store-bought. But for me, peanut butter cookie and chocolate chip with toasted walnuts. And I make both of those really, really well. The problem with the chocolate chip cookies is you need to hydrate the flour. So you make the batter and then you put it in the fridge for like 48 hours. Do you know how hard it is to wait to make those cookies? Like, you don't make cookies until you want cookies. So I can't anticipate wanting cookies. So I never actually let the flour hydrate as long as I should, because I want cookies now. I don't want cookies in 2 days. So we all have crosses we must bear. I understand. Rocky says, I didn't anticipate being a bag of blood short and still having this to come back to. I just want to make sure you didn't pass out and you're still doing all right. You had some orange juice or maybe a cookie. All right. Best pie? Coconut cream pie? Banana? Is it banana cream pie? Banana custard pie? You know, just nanner pie. Pudding, I guess technically that would be. Tapioca pudding and nanner pudding, probably. Butterscotch gets a bum rap, man. It gets overlooked way too much. Love me some butterscotch. Just does not. So what that means is I can make butterscotch and I never have to worry about just taking it. Asteroids was Vector. Okay. I feel like this is a passion, Scott. Okay, 85 was the NES. So I was 10. Okay, so there you go. Mohammed, it's 2 a.m. Have a good night. Sweet dreams. Take care in Saudi. So maybe 86, but still, I was 10, 11, somewhere around that age. All right. I'm gonna come back to that, ZZ. I'll double back to that and see what has been said. Not bitterness, tartness. It was super tart, my key lime pie. Thank you, Jess. Soul Train, that's it. That's my favorite 5-player map. But honest to God, it's impossible for me not to sound biased, but the heavy cardboard map is really good at 5 players. Have a good one, Eric. Enjoy dinner. Shrey says, I just noticed that the book I'm planning on starting to read this evening has a foreword by Martin. That's cool, right? Like, to me, because I'm not in Martin's world, you know, because obviously he's a superstar within, you know, the computer programming world. To me, he's just Martin Fowler. Like, he's just Martin, my buddy. But it's really nice having somebody with that stature to be able to bounce stuff off of whenever the internet gets ugly. So yeah, but that's still awesome. Like that, I mean, there you go. About to read a book and there's a foreword by the Martin. Like, that's cool. Kyle says, the problem, you didn't name oatmeal raisin. No. I don't dislike oatmeal raisin. But here's the problem with oatmeal raisin cookies. They look like chocolate chip. So they're imposters. So you see a cookie on a plate, it looks like a chocolate chip cookie. You get all watered up for a chocolate chip cookie. And you go and you bite in it, and it's oatmeal raisin. There's no... Now I'm unfulfilled. Now I didn't enjoy that cookie. Now I wasted those calories. If an oatmeal raisin cookie looked different, I bet you more people would like it. But I think there's too much anticipation of it being a chocolate chip cookie. And that's why it's not more popular, because it's a delicious cookie. It's not in the same ballpark as a peanut butter cookie or a chocolate chip cookie with toasted walnuts, but I digress. Stacy says, wait a minute, Edward. Chocolate chip oatmeal with toasted pecans are the best homemade. 2 words, Stacy. Show me. Addresses down below. All right, I'm going to answer it because I was waiting to see what Jess's response was. So here you go. Zez says, why do I never see links to your content on Reddit board games? Your videos are always super helpful to learn heavier games. The short answer is I got banned. Lifetime ban from Reddit board games. I got a lifetime ban because I asked people to post their stuff and to upvote it. There you go. I could go on more about things, but I'm going to leave it at that. So there you go. I got banned for people asking people to go there and do that. It's against Reddit's rules. They say I was warned. I wasn't about that. I was one of the more active content creators on Reddit board games for years. Regardless, and I'm talking active, not even talking about heavy cardboards content, just active within the community. But so yeah, needless to say, yeah, you're not allowed to link to our stuff. Some mods let you mention heavy cardboard, some don't. It all depends on their mood. So we'll move on. Banana cream pie with a graham cracker crust. I'm not super big on graham cracker crust, but I'm not gonna kick out. I'm not gonna kick a banana cream pie out because it has a graham cracker crust. I'll still enjoy it. Matt says, I think you need some Trader Joe's chocolate hazelnut or cookie butter sandwich cookies on that store-bought list. I've never had those. I don't know if we have a Trader Joe's around us. Address is down below, Matt. Just saying. Rocky supports me on the butterscotch. I appreciate that. Okay, Christopher, back to gaming. Here we go. Christopher says, do you feel with the massive success of miniature and co-op games and with streamlined games that are short being more in demand, do you think heavier games are becoming very niche? I think heavier games have always been niche. I think that they have actually become more mainstream than they were previously. So I would argue instead of them going this way to where there's less of them and less demand, I would argue it's going this. It might not be that wide, but maybe it's like this. So I think it's actually growing and not getting limited and not shrinking? Is there always going to be a bigger market for shorter and less involved games? Of course, because you have this, think of it as a pyramid, really. You have this huge base of gamers, and then some stop there and that's all they want. Some want to go to the next level and see what that is, but only some of them. And then a smaller amount want to see what else is out there, so on and so forth. And we're somewhere in that past the step or two. And by we, I mean not just heavy cardboard, but us as in heavier gamers. So I think it's always been niche. I think it's broadening, though. I think it's getting bigger, which is a very good thing. So that's awesome. So no, I don't think it's getting less. I think it's getting more, which I'm grateful for. Have I played Labyrinth by GMT? No, but it's in the library. It's an eventuality. Gabriel. Have a good one, Robert. Good seeing you, brother. Take care. Send my best to everybody back in Denver, all right? Okay, Scott says, I guess I'll stop talking about old video games. I'll get on the cooking train. Do you use a cleaver? Do you have a cleaver recommendation? Got to do some serious chopping sometimes. I don't have one. We just watched, what was it? We watched Chef John, so Food Wishes. When he made some Thai basil, chicken Thai basil, and he used a cleaver. I don't have a cleaver. I have 3 really good chef's knives that I use for any of that. So I don't have a cleaver, but I need to get one. So, yeah. So, literally, and Jess says, I just yesterday said you need a cleaver. Does not have one, exactly. Seems like their loss at Reddit board games. It's been, what, 2 years? 2.5 years? Something? I don't know. Whatever. And Joe says, I'm hoping the recent flurry of Kickstarter 18XX games that the niche will grow. It is growing. It's growing exponentially, I would argue. It's way bigger now than it ever was. I like to think that, you know, heavy cardboard's played a part in that. Kyle says, I appreciate the laugh about your oatmeal raisin cookie rant, but I've never thought it was hard to tell the difference between the two. But I get mad when it's chocolate chip and not oatmeal raisin. Kyle marches to the beat of his own drum, and I appreciate that about you, Kyle. You're a one of a kind. Don't ever change. But you're wrong. Have a good one, Stephanie. Good night. Have you ever got into the TCG equivalent of cocaine, i.e. Magic the Gathering? Yeah, I used to be not big. Like, I was never hardcore into it. My favorite thing about Magic the Gathering was booster drafts at your local game store. You know, you enter, and it was like 10, 15 bucks. And because I collected baseball cards when I was a kid. And so being able to open a new pack, a booster pack of Magic, and then doing the draft, and then the winner of, you know, your group got to, the winner of a match got to take a card from the other player. I love that. That was my favorite thing of all time. And when I left Vegas, this was 2011, I think, I sold my collection for not nearly as much as I should have. I didn't have any of the monster cards, the big ones, none of the Moxes, none of those. I got in after that, but I did have some really nice cards. So I sold it for about $1,000, which is way less than I should have. But because I figure, it's dead, whatever. Then I went to my first Gen Con in 2014, I think, and I realized, oh my, Magic's bigger than it ever has. I had no idea. But I've never gone back into it since, never had the interest. So, all right. Although I will say, I do love collecting Gwent cards in Witcher 3. Just saying. Maybe not so much supporting the butterscotch per se, but the measure of diplomacy. All right, fair enough. Tom Lehman has a new 18XX coming out, GMT 1833 NE. good, yes. Isn't that the one that has been languishing for the better part of 20 years? It's been in work for 20 years, I think. Isn't that, Joe? Do I plan on grabbing Imperial Struggle? Plicey asks. Yup. Joe says, heavy cardboard's the reason I have 10 18XX games on my shelf and all my Euros have rusted. See? And like I said, when heavy cardboard started, a lot of people weren't even knew about the heavier end of the hobby, I feel like, because almost nobody out there in the world was talking about them. We brought it to more people, and some of those people have now gone down the rabbit hole that is 18XX, and there's nothing to do about that, and they're just all 18XX all the time. That is totally fine. Some of the folks have gone all esoteric, meaning, you know, Hollenspiel is the cutting edge of, if it's not like super obscure, they don't want it, which nothing wrong with that. That's fine. I have stayed pretty much to where medium and heavy Euros, 18XX, and war games, and the esoteric stuff. So, I mean, you look at what Tony did. Tony's all 18XX all the time, right? And so, nothing wrong with that. Just the show hasn't gone that direction. But hey, good stuff, all right? Kyle, I was at a Christmas party for work once and brought oatmeal raisin cookies. People were disappointed. Have a good one, Rich. Yeah, it was known as 1834 before. All right, cool. Look at that. I caught up. Ha ha. 3 hours. What? And now, as long as I cut it off soon, won't have to worry about people saying, hey, where's the first part of the video? Because remember what I said, right? Hi. My name is Joe, and I play 18XX games. Hi, Joe. I hear you, all right? See, exactly. Adam says, I think I could play Splatters, Sierra Madre games, and 18XX games for the rest of my life. I'd be happy with that. And by Sierra Madre, you mean Ion Game Design? Which is amazing to hear Adam say that, because he watches every one of our streams because he does the timestamps for it. And there's a lot of games then that probably don't interest Adam, so even doubly so. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, I tire of 18. I don't want just that. I'm an Omni gamer. I'm okay with that. Do I have an opinion on 1825? No, never played it. All right, that's it. I'm out. I need to go eat. And almost done with my tea. How have we gotten no new page? Make sure I didn't. Like shaking it's going to make one show up. Nope. Okay. Christopher, last one. Since we're just talking, do you have an opinion of TI? I assume TI, you mean Twilight Imperium? For me, it was my gateway to longer games and then into heavier ones. Never played it. Sorry. All right. Fair enough, Adam. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day. I will be back in 2 days with Perseverance. If you guys enjoy the stream, give it a thumb. I definitely appreciate it. I would prefer a thumb up, but I'll be honest. Well, thumb up's great. You want to give it a thumb down? It's free world. Do what you want. You don't want to thumb it. Don't. Okay, fine. Subscribe. I'd appreciate it. If you want to get notified whenever these surprise streams go live, though, it behooves you to subscribe and you hit the little bell notification. Whenever I go live, you get notified. Last but not least, you want to help me make that number jump, support the show. If you think what I do here on the show is worth enough entertainment for you guys for $1 or $2 a month, I certainly would appreciate it. You can go to pledgehc.com right here support the show there. Podcast coming. Yes, promise. JT's on the hook for 2 of them now. So, all right. You guys stay safe. Continue social distancing. Wear your damn masks. I know everybody in the herd is wearing their masks, so thank you for doing so. It's not just about protecting you. It's just being considerate to everybody else out there. And y'all are a bunch of really considerate people. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. Be smart, be safe, be kind to one another. I'll see y'all in 2 days. Perseverance. Take care, everybody. 3 hours. That's fine. What? Like y'all didn't expect it to be 3 hours. I mean, come on.